What's up, guys? Welcome back to Fish-A-Hex. Today is going to be my 6-week update on the new KZ Coral System. Now, I wanted to wait a little bit longer, but I've been getting a lot of requests to get this video out, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Alright, so first things first, just in case you guys are not aware, I dose 28 milliliters of each additive on a weekly basis. Now, that comes to about 4 milliliters each day via the automatic doser, which is a Jabo DP4. I'm also dosing BRS 2-part calcium alkalinity and magnesium. I'm currently at 147 milliliters of both calcium and alkalinity on a daily basis with 2 milliliters of magnesium. The other additives I dose are Coral Vitalizer 10 to 14 drops on a daily basis and Coral Snow 5 milliliters every other day. When it comes to feeding this tank, I do not target feed my coral at this time. I do feed nori on a daily basis and mysis shrimp every other day. When it comes to feeding my eel, I have a mixture of scallops, shrimp, and squid, which I feed 3 times a week to him, only amount that he can eat within a 5-minute period. That's it for feeding. I don't feed this tank a lot. I've been getting some slack on that, but I like to have a low nutrient system. My fish are still healthy, showing great color, and I haven't had any issues so far. When it comes to filtration in this system, I have about 120 pounds of live rock in the main display, marine pure in the sump, and rubble rock in the refugium. Now, I do run Chaeto and Callirpa in my refugium, and I pull out about 5 gallons of that on a bi-weekly basis. I do have a Curve 7 protein skimmer set to wet skimming, which I clean that cup out on an every other day basis. The cup gets about 1/4 full, but I like to keep it clean at all times. Alright, now that you have a better idea how I run my system, let's get into the review. During this review, I'm just going to go over several corals and some of the differences that I've picked up on over the last 6 weeks. Now, the first one on that list is going to be the cat's paw on the left section there next to the green bird's nest. Now, with this coral, it has definitely increased in size and the coloration has changed. Now, with the new growth that's coming out of this coral, the polyp extension is better than it was before, and also the coloration is much greener than it was before. The camera really doesn't justify the color, but trust me, it looks a lot better than it did 6 weeks ago, and I'd like to say that the KZ Coral System has contributed to that success. Now, I can't wait to see what it looks like in another 6 weeks or even 6 months from now. I'm definitely loving this coral and how it's growing. The next coral on that list is the green bird's nest. Now, not only is it the one on the left section, but the one in the middle section have both increased in size and coloration as well. They're more of a darker green color than they were before, and then the new growth, the tips of those bird's nests are whiter than they were, indicating faster growth. Now, I'm really happy with the way that this is taking off, and I'm really like the polyp extension, especially when the lights go off around 1 or 2 a.m. You look into the tank with the moonlights on. They are really puffy, and they weren't like that before, so I'd like to say again that the KZ Coral program is contributing to that growth and polyp extension. Now, the next coral on the list is the red and green Montipora on the center section of the tank. Now, particularly the Green Montipora has changed the most for me. Now, how it has changed, the growth, it's starting to grow upwards more than it was before, and also the new growth on the edge is a vibrant purple color, which it wasn't like that before, and if it was, it definitely wasn't noticeable, that's for sure. Now, the color itself, it looks a lot better than it did previously, and I'm really happy the way that coral is starting to plate out, and that purplish ring around the edge is definitely cool to look at. Now, when it comes to the red Montipora, I have seen growth. It feels like it's on a daily basis. If I'm away for the house for a couple days and I come back, it's like, wow, it looks different than it did before. I'm really happy with how fast this coral is growing, and the coloration and the white ring indicating the new growth is much bigger and brighter than it was before. Again, KZ Coral Program, I like to say it is contributing to that, and I'm really happy to see how this coral grows over the next few months. Alright, so for Acropora, I just recently moved all my acros from the frag rack to the right section there of rock, so they've only been there for about 2.5 weeks, so I can't really give a fair assessment on coloration or growth for those acros, but I will come back and visit them in a month when I do my next review on this program, so stay tuned for that. The last thing I want to talk about are soft and LPS corals. Now, I don't have too many in my tank, but I have yet to notice any difference in coloration or growth with these two types of corals. Now, I will pay more attention to them over the next month and see if I pick up on any noticeable changes, and I'll let you guys know on my next update. Alright guys, my overall thoughts on this program so far is yes, I'm really happy with the coloration and growth of the SPS corals up to this point. Now, how it's going to impact the tank in the long run, we'll find out. My plan is I'm going to do this program for about 6 months, and at that point, I will sit down and weigh out the pros and cons of this program compared to the Red Sea Color program. That's price, coloration, ease of use, all that good stuff. And then I'm going to decide what program I'm going to continue to go with at that point. Now, I'm going to do an update every month until then, and then I will do a final update at the 6 month to decide what I'm going to do. All right, guys, so I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Peace.